beloved. When the quiet of night gathers its gentle shawl around your shoulders, and the moon whispers your name in silver syllables, before your lids fall like velvet curtains on the stage of this day, you must speak, not in hurried breath or trembling fear,
but in reverence, in truth, in power.
You must speak 3 lines before you sleep, 3 lines that carry your heart, 3 lines that bear your burden,
The 3 lines that resurrect your peace.
1, I forgive myself. Say it slow. Let it rest on your tongue like warm honey. Let it melt into the marrow of your being. Because you, dear one, have spent the day wearing the armor of should have, tied tight with laces of ought to. You have judged your own soul with eyes too stern.
But the truth is this. You are a garden still growing.
Yes, you made a mistake. Yes, you raised your voice. You walked away.
You forgot your own power.
You gave too much or not enough. But the sun still rose, and you still have breath. So forgiveness is not a weakness. It is the resurrection of grace. Forgive yourself, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to grow. Say it aloud.
I forgive myself.
Because even the moon has scars, and still it shines. 2, I am grateful. Gratitude is not just a gentle thank you. It is a fierce revolution of the spirit. It is the sacred act of finding light in the darkest caverns. When your feet are blistered from walking through life's hard terrain,
Gratitude reminds you, you are still standing.
be grateful for the breath that carried you from morning to night, for the stranger who smiled, for the food you tasted, for the tears that fell each one a baptism of the soul. Be grateful for the lesson disguised as pain, for the silence that taught you to listen, for the storm that taught you to pray. Say it with conviction. I am grateful, because gratitude transforms scarcity into abundance, and sorrow into sacred soil. 3, I am enough. Yes, you are. You, broken, beautiful, bruised, blessed. You with all your stumbles and all your strength. You who have laughed at death and danced with dreams. You who have cried in the dark and still dared to believe in light. Say, you are not what the world tried to label you. You are not the rejection, the betrayal, the failure. You are not the silence after the phone call that never came. You are not the job you lost or the love that slipped through your hands. You are the becoming. You are the breath between almost and already. You are the daughter of survival, the son of persistence, the child of grace. And as you lay your head on the pillow tonight, let your bones relax, knowing you don't need to do more, be more, prove more. Say it with holy certainty. I am enough, and the heavens will echo your truth back to you. Oh, my sweet child of the universe, before you slip into that sacred dreamscape, where angels sow stars into the hem of your sleep, let these 3 lines rise from your lips like a hymn. I forgive myself. I am grateful.
I am enough.
Say them, breathe them, believe them, and rest, because your soul has done enough today. And tomorrow you shall rise again,
Wiser, gentler.
and more whole than ever before. I forgive myself. Oh, what a strange, delicious, difficult phrase. A whisper that tastes like freedom but often sticks in the throat. A phrase we speak not with the tongue first, but with the soul. Forgiveness of the self. Child, that is not some dainty thing wrapped in satin and served with sweet tea. It is not a light thing. No, ma'am. It is a gospel, and it is a war cry. It is the courage to sit beside your own shadow, to hold hands with your own shame, and not flinch, not run, not hide beneath the convenient covers of denial or distraction, but to say, here I am, I see you, I know what I did, I know who I've been, and still I choose to embrace myself. Now let me tell you something. It takes a mighty soul to do that. A soul that has walked through regret and decided not to build a home there. A soul that has seen its reflection in the broken mirror of memory and still declared it worthy of light. You see, baby, the world has taught you to punish yourself, taught you to catalog every misstep like Holy Scripture. to turn your mistakes into monuments, to etch your wrongdoings in stone while your victories fade like breath on glass. Oh, but no more. No more. Today we gather the weight you've been dragging behind you, the guilt, the fear, the self-reproach.
And we name it.
We name it so it no longer owns you. Because truth be told, there is a graveyard inside you. Yes, you've buried moments there. Things you said in anger. Decisions you made when you were tired or scared or desperate for love. The lies you told not to deceive but to protect yourself. People you hurt because you hadn't yet learned how to love without bleeding. And every night you walk that graveyard alone. You pick up bones, turn over tombstones. You rehearse pain like it's a prayer, as if punishing yourself will bring the past back to be rewritten. A child, even God doesn't dwell in the past. Even the river doesn't flow backwards. You hear me? It's time to forgive. Not because what you did was okay. Not because you were right. But because your soul cannot grow in chains.
Because guilt is a swamp, and you were born to climb mountains.
You were not made to be a warden over your own suffering. You were made to be free. Do you know what forgiveness does? It doesn't erase the lesson. It doesn't scrub away the scar. It simply says, I will no longer let this moment define me. Because you are more than the worst thing you've ever done.
Yes, I said it.
You are more than the worst day of your life. You are more than the failure, the lie, the fall. You are a symphony, child. And one sour note does not ruin the song.
So let's speak truth tonight.
Speak it softly or shout it loud, whatever you need. Say, I forgive the version of me that didn't know better. Say, I forgive the version of me that was just trying to survive. Say, I forgive the one who stayed too long, the one who left too soon, the one who trusted too fast, the one who doubted when faith was needed. Forgiveness is not a weakness, it is the evidence of strength. Forgiveness is not forgetfulness, it is the power to remember without becoming bitter. It is the balm on your bruises, the hand on your trembling shoulder saying you are still worthy. And hear me when I say this, you do not need permission to forgive yourself. Not from the person you hurt, not from the mirror, not from the preacher or the parent or the world. You are the high priestess of your own redemption. You are the gatekeeper of your own healing. You do not need to earn it, you only need to receive it. Because if the Creator in all her glory, in all his infinite wisdom, in all their boundless mercy, if the divine can look upon you with grace, who are you to look upon yourself with less? Who are you to say you are unforgivable when the stars themselves still dance above your head and the breath in your lungs still whispers?
There is more life to live?
You may have been broken, yes, but you are not discarded. You may have been mistaken, yes, but you are not irredeemable. Let me tell you something about broken things. Sometimes they hold the most light. Sometimes they are the most honest. Sometimes they are the most beautiful. So when you lie down tonight, before you drift into the sacred hush of sleep, do not let your pillow cradle regret. Let it cradle release. Do not let your dreams be haunted by old ghosts. Let them be visited by peace. And peace, my dear, does not come through punishment. It comes through grace. You don't need another lecture. You don't need another sleepless night of replaying the scene. You need a new song. One that sounds like mercy. One that sounds like freedom. So write it, speak it, sing it if you must. Say, I forgive myself for being young and unknowing. I forgive myself for the things I allowed when I did not know my worth.
I forgive myself for the anger I carried that belonged to someone else.
I forgive myself for shrinking to be loved. I forgive myself for judging myself too harshly. And while you're at it, forgive yourself for the love you gave that wasn't returned. Forgive yourself for the joy you withheld from yourself. Forgive yourself for the apology you never spoke, or the apology you gave too many times. Forgive yourself not to forget the lesson, but to free the teacher. Because self-forgiveness is not selfish. It is sacred. It is survival. It is the first step toward becoming who you were always meant to be. And don't you dare confuse healing with betrayal. Letting go of shame is not a betrayal of the people you hurt. It is the honoring of the person you are still becoming.
If they could see the tears you've cried,
The prayers you've whispered.
The nights you've sat in silence trying to change the past.
Maybe they too would offer you grace. But even if they don't, even if forgiveness never finds its way from their lips, it must find its way from your own. I say it again. I forgive myself. Say it even if your voice trembles. Say it even if you don't believe it yet. Say it until your soul starts to lean into it like sunlight. Say it until the chains loosen. Say it until you believe you deserve to be whole. Because you do. You do.
The road ahead is long, child, but you're not walking it in shackles anymore.
You are walking with your head high, your heart open, and your spirit clothed in grace. Tonight, before you sleep, speak it like a benediction over your weary soul. I forgive myself. Say it one more time. Not for the world, not for the crowd, not for applause or acceptance, but for you. I forgive myself. And in that sacred whisper, the heavens will nod, the stars will lean in, and the angels will sing. Now she knows. Now he knows. Now they remember they were always enough. Yes, my love. Let us now turn the page of the soul and lift the veil of the second truth that must be spoken in the quiet hours before slumber. This truth is a mighty one, a truth not just spoken with the mouth, but with the marrow, not whispered only from the lips, but thundered from the heart. It is not a cliché, not a throwaway phrase stitched onto pillows and posters. It is not a decorative thought. No, this, my dear, is a revolution wrapped in softness.
I am grateful.
Say it slow now. Let it roll over your tongue like molasses. Let it settle. Let it stretch and sigh and bloom. I am grateful. That sentence is not small. That sentence is not light. That sentence is not weak. It is the weapon of the soul who refuses to be made bitter. It is the shield of the weary warrior who has chosen not to become the wound. It is the light in the lantern carried by those who walk through darkness and still insist on singing. Let me tell you something. Gratitude is not just for the good days. Gratitude is for the ones that test you. It is for the ones where your back is bent beneath the weight of sorrow and your tongue is dry from praying without answers. Gratitude is not blind. It sees the pain, sees the cracks, sees the losses, but chooses to bless the day anyway. Gratitude is for the woman who buried her dream and still wakes up with love in her voice. It's for the man whose hands are empty, but whose heart is still full. It's for the child inside each of us who knows how to marvel, even when surrounded by ashes. You want to know something? The ones who are grateful are not the ones with the most. We are the ones who can see the most. See what you ask. See beauty even in the broken. See joy even in the jagged. See life even in the leftover.
I know, child. I know. Some days your hands are too tired to lift. Some days your eyes are too full of tears to look at the sky. Some days the gratitude feels far away, like a bird that flew off with your last smile. But let me tell you this. Even on those days, even in the valley, even when the echo of why me hangs heavy in the room, you are allowed to be grateful, not because everything is perfect, but because you still have breath. And breath, my dear, is a miracle.
That breath, that invisible rhythm within your chest, that is a drumbeat of defiance, a testimony, a sign that life in all its mystery still lives in you. So when you lie down tonight, before your body falls into its nightly death and resurrection, pause, gather your thoughts like kindling, and name what you can bless. Maybe it's the roof. Maybe it leaks, but it's still yours. Maybe it's the shoes, worn but walking. Maybe it's the voice on the other end of the line. Maybe it's the silence that gave you a moment to think. Maybe it's the child who said, I love you, with sticky fingers and wild eyes. Maybe it's your own courage, your own steady spine that refused to bend today. Maybe it's your capacity to hope, even after hope has disappointed you. Say it, I am grateful. And don't wait for the lightning. Don't wait for the wind to change, or for the weight to lift. Speak it before the miracle comes. Gratitude doesn't wait for the answer, it welcomes it before it arrives. Gratitude is not a reaction, it is an invitation. You see, when you say, I am grateful, you open the door. You open the door for joy to enter, even when sorrow is seated at the table. You open the door for strength to arrive, even when weakness has pitched its tent in your bones. And gratitude doesn't require you to deny what hurts. No, sugar. Gratitude is not denial. Gratitude says, yes, I feel the ache, but I choose to honor the gift anyway. Yes, I see what I lost, but I am holding on to what remains. Yes, I'm still waiting for the healing, but look how far I've come. Say it with me now. I am grateful. For the nights I thought I wouldn't make it, but I did.
For the mornings I didn't want to rise, but I did.
For the dreams I buried and the new ones that sprouted in their place. And for the friends that left, and the solitude that taught me how to sing alone. For the days I walked without answers, but still walked. And yes, I am grateful for the tears. Oh, don't look so surprised. Tears cleanse more than the eyes. They water the soul. They baptize us in the truth of our own aliveness. They teach us what matters. I am grateful for every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every no that turned into protection, every not yet that turned into preparation. Gratitude, you see, is the quiet wisdom that what didn't go your way still might have gone your way. You just didn't know the map. The universe was using. My grandmother, God rest her spirit, used to say, baby, if you only knew what you were being spared from, you'd shout hallelujah for every detour, and I believe her, I do. So I say, I am grateful for the pain that taught me to speak softer, for the betrayal that taught me to choose wiser,
for the fear that taught me to love bolder,
but for the ending that made room for the beginning. And I am grateful for me, for my bones still strong, for my skin still holding me together, for my eyes still hungry for beauty, for my hands still reaching toward light. I am grateful for my laughter, loud, cracked, holy, grateful for my sadness, deep, honest, instructive, grateful for my doubt, it keeps me humble, grateful for my faith, it keeps me rising. And let me say this too, I am grateful for you, yes, you who are reading these words, you who are trying to stitch your heart back together with thread made of hope, you who are learning how to rest, not quit. You who are still searching for a way to love yourself loud and unapologetically. Oh, I am grateful for your breath, your being, your battle, because every soul that chooses gratitude is a candle in the dark. And Lord knows this world needs more light. So tonight, let your last words be a song of thanks. Let them be the offering placed gently on the altar of your pillow. Say it, mean it. Let it rise like incense.
I am grateful.
I am grateful.
I am grateful.
And let the heavens reply with a hush of peace. Let the stars twinkle their agreement. Let your heart settle into its own rhythm, knowing that in this simple declaration, you have honored your day. You have acknowledged your becoming. You have stood in the temple of your own life and said, even this, even now, even still, and should I give thanks? Yes, child. Now we arrive at the third truth. The crown jewel of evening prayers, the final whisper you must place gently upon your lips before surrendering to sleep. It is not a sentence, it is a sanctuary. It is not a phrase, it is a prophecy. I am enough. Say it now, not as a question, not with a question mark, hung like a shekel. No, say it as a declaration. Say it with the thunder of your bones. Say it the way your ancestors would have if they'd been allowed to believe it. Say it like you've been waiting your whole life to hear yourself speak it. I am enough. Now sit in it.
let it warm your hands like a fire in winter, let it wrap your shoulders like a shawl made of sunlight, let it soak into your skin like the scent of jasmine on a southern porch, because this truth, beloved, this truth will save you.
Let me tell you something true. We live in a world that thrives on your self-doubt. A world that sells you inadequacy in beautiful bottles.
A world that teaches you to measure yourself in inches and likes.
In applause and attention.
in approval from those who never knew your name before you were useful.
But baby, you are not a product.
You are not a project.
You are not an unfinished puzzle waiting for someone else to complete you.
You are enough.
Yes, as you are.
With the stretch marks.
With the silence.
With the laugh that snorts at the end.
With the old fears still nestled in the corners of your courage. With the regrets you are still learning to forgive. You right now, without alteration, without performance, without pretending, you are enough. That means you are not missing anything. You're not lacking some essential glow. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too much. You're not enough. You are the entire ocean in a single wave. You are thunder wrapped in skin. You are soul and soil and stardust, walking around with a name.
You were enough before anyone clapped for you.
Before you were pretty. Before you were successful. Before you made them proud. Before you learned to shrink yourself to fit their comfort. You were enough when you were still learning how to walk. When your only skill was existing loudly, honestly, messily. You were enough when you had nothing to offer but your breath, your presence, your being. And guess what? Sugar? You still are. But I know this world is loud. It howls at you from magazines and screens, from dinner tables and office walls. It became from lovers who say you need fixing. And parents who didn't know how to say I love you without adding, if only. So you started measuring yourself against rulers. You didn't make. You started shrinking. You started silencing the parts of you that didn't get applause. You started performing your worth instead of believing in it. But tonight, I want you to come back to yourself. I want you to walk barefoot into the center of your soul and sit down. Sit down with the you that doesn't try so hard. Sit down with the you that is quiet and wild and free. That raw, unedited, unpolished you is enough. You don't need another degree to be worthy. You don't need a thinner waist to be lovable. You don't need a bigger house to be significant. You don't need another person to call you beautiful. You already are. You are the temple and the prayer. You are the question and the answer. You are the poem and the poet. I want you to stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone else to name you. You name you. Say it. I am enough. Say it for the girl who grew up too fast. For the boy who was told to toughen up. For the teenager who only felt seen when they were pleasing others. For the adult who wakes up every day trying to prove they deserve to exist. Say it for every version of you that thought they had to earn love. Say it for the you that still hesitates before saying no. Say it for the you that apologizes for existing too loudly, too proudly, too freely. I am enough. Let it echo. Let it roar. Let it roll through the hollows where shame used to sleep. You see, enough is not about quantity. It's not a number. It's not perfection. Enough is sacred. Enough is divine.
Enough means I have nothing to prove.
You don't need to be sweeter. You don't need to be quieter. You don't need to be anything other than the brilliant, the bruised, the beautiful being you already are. You are a garden, darling. And even when you are not in bloom, you are still alive. Even in your winter, you are enough. Some days you'll feel it, radiant, untouchable, holy. Some days you won't, but that does not change the truth. Truth does not bend to your feelings. Truth does not depend on your productivity. Truth just is. And the truth is you are enough.
Now listen.
I am not saying you won't grow. I am not saying there isn't more to learn, more to become. But your value, that is not up for debate. That is not on layaway. That is not conditional on your improvement. You are allowed to grow without shame. You are allowed to evolve without erasing yourself. Growth is not proof of your worth. It is a celebration of it.
You are not becoming enough.
You are discovering that you always were. So tonight, as your head finds its sacred pillow, as your breath softens and the moon leans in to listen, tell your bones, I am enough. Tell your scars, I am enough. Tell the little child within you who still waits at the window for someone to say it. You are enough. And do you know what happens when you believe it?
You stop competing.
You stop begging. You stop bending yourself into shapes that don't fit. You start walking like you belong. Because you do. You belong in every room you walk into. You belong in this world, in this moment, in this breath. You belong in your own body. You belong in your own life.
And you are not too late for your own becoming.
You are not behind. You are not lost. You are right on time. So say it with me again, not as a plea, but as a hymn. I am enough. Say it for the generations that came before you and never believed it. Say it for the generations to come who need to hear it in your voice. Say it until the lie dies. Say it until your spine remembers how to stand tall. And say it until your heart hums with truth. Because this is how we heal. This is how we rest. This is how we rise. Not from doing more. Not from proving harder. Not from running faster. But from returning to ourselves. From speaking 3 simple truths before we sleep. I forgive myself. I am grateful. I am enough. And when you speak those words, the universe leans close.
The stars applaud.
And God herself smiles and says, "Yes, child, you have finally remembered. Now go. Rest. You are enough."